Pharmacy Communication for January 24th, 2013. We'll cover some notes and then do an in-class activity. Your learning targets are: list the forms of communication that are used in pharmacy practice, compare and contrast verbal and nonverbal communication, list tips for successful phone calls, explain the do's and don'ts of email communication, and explain the do's and don'ts of writing a business letter. Chapter 1 is a summary. It introduces you to a brief history of the practice of pharmacy. Defining apothecary, it is one who prepares and sells drugs or compounds for medicinal purposes. And pharmacy. The chapter also talks about changing role of pharmacist, resulting in a changing role for the pharmacy technician. Communication is a transmission of ideas from the sender to the receiver. It includes verbal conversation, nonverbal actions, written words, and pictures and demonstrations. Each of these are important and appropriate, and the newest one is social media. Nonverbal communication and verbal communication. Verbal communication in person. We communicate verbally all the time in many different situations. It is possible to hear without listening, and this means that your verbal communication skills will improve if you begin to actively listen to the other person. As a side note, people who have lived together for a long time can often finish the other person's sentences, and that's also true of long-working co-workers. Continuing with verbal communication and purpose, verbal shorthand is fine with people who know each other, but you need to be clear about your intended message when you're speaking to anyone new. Poor grammar, non-standard English, slang, and vulgar words can result in the listener having a negative opinion of you. Body language to avoid. Don't project on another. Don't work on another project while talking to the person. Don't frown or make faces. Avoid abrupt turns or sharp movements. Don't slam down pencils or other items. Don't show disinterest in the person you are talking with by switching your conversation to other people. Can you come up with any others? Verbal communication, phone calls. Why do people call the pharmacy? Most businesses have automated phone answering systems to help the people working in the business. What might be a problem with this? Verbal communication, phone call tips. Smile before saying the first words. It changes your voice. When answering a call, introduce yourself and the business. It confirms the person dialed or did not dial the correct answer. Can you think of any other tips that will help you have a successful conversation? Email communication. Emails are a fast way to communicate. At work, it is not intended to tell jokes, stories, or wordy items. A good email will have the following: a precise and straightforward subject line. The body of the message is concise. Finally, the message is organized and it specifies what needs to be done. Emails do's and don'ts. Edit your emails for grammar and punctuation. Don't respond to an email when you are emotional, and do respond to an email in a timely fashion. Can you think of other do's and don'ts with regard to emails? Written communication. Interdepartment notes and memos. It is important to leave clear messages about what needs to be done on items that may carry over to the next shift. Memos need to be short and to the point. Can you think of anything else? Letters. Writing a business letter takes time and planning. Use formal salutations such as Dr., Mrs., Mr., and others. Clear, complete sentences need to be written. Can you think of anything else? The in-class activity. Minnesota has some new immigrants who will be your patients. I will give you a handout and show on the screen information about 4 such groups. Read through the information and write in your notebook what impact their ethnic and culture might have on you as you try to meet their needs. Discuss with others what you wrote and add to your notes anything that you like about their answers. We will then share as a class your thoughts. The first group are the Asian Indians. The next group are the Hmong. Some more information on the Hmong. Latinos are a third group. Some more information on Latinos, broken down into various subgroups. The Somali are the final group. If we have time, I found this article in the Minneapolis Star and Tribune. Read it and answer the following questions. What possible problem with not teaching children how to write in cursive? We will cover this later. Read Chapter 3 for the next week. The resume rough draft is due next week. You can either turn in a hard copy or I will have a Dropbox for you.